Welcome everyone to a timeless reading where we're going to be asking our shadow self, where do we feel abandoned in our lives, and just what advice they have on how we can transform that. You can have a choice of 3 different readings. I'm going to call this one a beautiful palm stone. I'm not sure what exact stone this is, but it is so beautiful. So we're going to call that a palm stone. And then, of course, number 2, we have the Amethyst Pyramid here. And then number 3 is going to be this red Jasper Tower. So you can pick as many of these as you want, of course, to see what messages that your shadow has for you. We'll have timestamps for all of them listed in the description box below. We're going to start with number 1 right now. All right, and if you did choose reading number 1, which is this beautiful palm stone, then this is the reading for you. We're just going to put that down here. And we're going to start off by asking our shadow just what their first message is. We will use the black tarot here for that. And any of the cards I use in a reading, I do list in the description box below. So if any of them catch your fancy, you know where you can pick those up for yourself. All right, so let's give these a good shuffle and just see what area of your life first where you feel abandoned. And this will be your subconscious, because your shadow is a piece of yourself. It's like your tour guide in this giant amusement park of fear rides. It knows what's going on behind the scenes and beneath the surface. So this is what you may not be conscious of that they want to bring into the consciousness so you can help transform that, where it's not bouncing around down there in the basement. So one more time here. All right. So Shadow, for those that chose reading number 1, what would you like them to know, please? What would you like them to know about abandonment? Okay, they do want this one right here. And you've got the Sun. Yeah. The Sun is a beautiful card. It is one of the most brilliant, bright, successful, victorious cards in the deck. But it also represents the Leo energy, which in this case is all about the inner child. So it's about connecting to your inner child. It's so perfect for this reading, actually, because, what's bouncing around in the cellar of our human existence is a lot of what we experienced as children. Usually the age between like inception and 7 years old is when we're developing emotionally. And at the age of 7 is when we kind of retire the emotional side of us to the basement as our mental side develops. And whatever we didn't get to process or absorb or integrate with that emotional piece of ourselves, it just kind of bounces around and echoes out into our lives going forward with our inner child wanting to get our attention. So this is such a perfect card for this reading, because this is saying that there are some old emotional things that happened where you felt abandoned, where you felt neglected, and those things want to come to the surface. We'll get some more clarity as we look through these other card decks here. And the next one we're going to look at to get, that detail is the Queen of the Moon Oracle. So let's take a look here and see what else they'd like you to know about this connection with your inner child. There's a fantastic book that I read this year called The Presence Process by Michael Brown, and it so dives into that whole subject, and it's a beautiful book. So if you're wanting some extra guidance, you can check that out too. I'll try to remember to put a link down in the description box below. All right, and I want that one already for you. And they have the hot moon, the extremes that are coming in here. And we're going to put that one just right here. And let's see what message comes in here with this hot moon energy. And it says, learn how to handle crises with calm and resilience. Seeking balance is superior to seeking extremes. There are better ways to handle conflict than rage and outrage. There may be someone who seeks to disrupt your business or your life in some way, but this too shall pass. The little Affirmation for this card is, I handle extremes with grace, yet I seek balance in all things. It says most of us have experienced extremes of weather, boiling hot days or the freezing of snow and ice. You certainly know that you are alive because the sensation can be so overwhelming or stressful on the body. The hot moon appeared in the hottest time of the year, where the days were longest and the rains less frequent. Similarly, we can experience extremes in life: deaths, job losses, relationship breakdowns, true fears, big conflicts, booms and busts, and yet, this is life. Our situation can change quickly, for better or for worse. So the hot moon challenges us to build our resilience and our reserves of wisdom and calm for these times where things are at their extreme. It reminds us that developing grace under pressure is worth its weight in gold, and that even these extremes in time will pass. Companion stone for that is the sunstone. So how perfect is that? So you have the sun and you have the sunstone, and this is talking about that you experienced these extremes when you were younger. So during those emotional development years, you kind of develop this black or white attitude toward life, this perfectionism, because in order for you to get recognition, for you to get this support, this attention, from your people that you were wanting to get attention from, you had to do extreme things. So like attention was all or nothing. And it's almost like you were battling for attention among, your parents or siblings or, somewhere in your life in your earlier years. And that's where this abandonment felt, because you spent a lot of time in the lower extreme where you felt alone and not getting attention. And you had to do so much, either good stuff and get that, positive attention where, you did really well in school or did something amazing. And that's where these extremes came from, the perfectionism that you have feelings about yourself, is you either have you're perfect or you're a failure, and there's no gray area for you in that. And so there's this drive also, if there's enough people battling for positive attention, you might even have chosen the negative attention, because sometimes that was easier to compete for because no one wanted it. So you're like, look, I can get this easier. And so you might have chosen to get some negative attention by doing things opposite of what people were wanting. So you at least got some attention, even if it was punishment attention. So beautiful awareness is coming in here. We're going to continue on, get more detail. And we're going to use these Power of Surrender deck just to see what else they want you to know here. And one more time. All right. So what else would you like our individuals that chose reading number 1 to know? Shadow, what would you like them to know, please? Okay, they do want this one right here. And you got surrender to receiving support and love. Wow, how perfect is this? And it says, allow the love and support of others in rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. So this is great. Actually, I'm going to move these kind of over here. Actually, at least these over here. Give us some space for these cards we're about to pull. And so, with this, what we were just talking about with receiving from others and having to feel like we have to do so much in order to get it and to be deserving of it, this is about being vulnerable. It's about this transformation of understanding that you deserve unconditional love, unconditional attention, unconditional acceptance for just who you are, not trying to meet anyone's demands of the outside world of who you're supposed to be and should be and need to be and have to be and must be and ought to be, all those expectations. It's really you connecting to this higher place. I love all the purples here, like this amethyst, which is the crown chakra, connecting to your higher self, connecting to a higher love. In that book, too, The Presence Process, that they wanted me to mention in the beginning, it does talk about that no human child ever in the existence of humankind has had the perfect childhood where they had the perfect parent who gave them unconditional acceptance, unconditional love, especially unconditional attention, right? Which is what we were talking about, trying to get attention, just having this limitless attention for no reason at all, just that we wanted it. Well, no parent had, because no parent had the perfect childhood. By the time they have children, they haven't done a lot of inner work yet, because it's usually, your late teens, early 20s when people are having children, and they haven't done that inner work to be able to see that they can give unconditional love and attention and acceptance, right? So every child experiences only the extent of what their parents had as children. And so it really helps us go, you know what? No human child ever had the perfect parent, but it's about you. You get to become the perfect parent to your inner child as you become and gain the trust of your inner child, because it does see you as separate from itself. It sees your adult self as a different character than them. We build up trust because they hear and see everything that goes on inside of us. So as we become more true to ourselves, they begin to trust us. Otherwise, they're like, no, you don't mean what you say. You say you're happy to go do something when you're loathing doing it every moment. But when you prove to your inner child that you're trustworthy by living an authentic life for yourself and allowing yourself to really be that source of unconditional love, acceptance, and attention, giving your little child self that attention where you pick them up and you just allow them to express whatever they're expressing without making excuses, without explaining anything. You just sit there in this presence. You create this space for them to express whatever charged emotion they had when they were young, and then that gets integrated instead of bouncing around in the basement. So I love where this is headed for you. And then we're going to use the runic tarot just for your final messages. What else would they like you to know about this abandonment, where you felt lost at sea, all these extremes happening? So what else would you like those that chose reading number 1 to know, please? Okay, there we go. What else? Anything else? Okay, they do want to. Oh, wow, okay. So they want to give you some guidance for sure. They're going to put these over here. Then we're going to start with these that fell over here. And so we're going to start with this one here, which is the 6 of Wands. This is like the recognition card, which is totally what we were looking for. You were wanting and striving for this recognition when you were younger. And this is a beautiful card of transformation, though, because we go from trying to please people to where we start looking higher. You see the people on the upper hill here. Usually where we start off as that human trying to please everyone around us, right? And I kind of like, this goes with this card here with the extremes. We went through extremes to try to get attention from them, but this is about beginning to see that we're always going to be disappointed when we're looking for that recognition from the outside world, because it's so fickle, it's so unstable, it's so up and down out in the external world. That one moment people could recognize us and be, wow, we're so proud of what you're doing, but depending on their mood, they could be like, oh, that's all you did? You could do more. That was yesterday, blah, blah, blah. But this is about this connection to the higher realms too, where you're really realizing how proud and how just amazing that the higher realms, those beings of unconditional love and light in the higher realm, how they recognize you and for what you're doing. I also feel like this is your adult self as you do that. I went to counseling for a while, and I had an experience where I actually, because they took me through, I think it was EDMR. It's where they do the sound on either side of your head and they take you back. They start off now how you're feeling, and they go back, and then you eventually find that original situation that happened that freaked out your little inner child, because that mine was actually around this perfectionism. And that makes sense why they want to bring this up now. But it was, I walked into the house as I was probably like 5 or 6. I know I was like in like first grade. So whatever age that is. My brother normally was with me, my older brother, and we were latchkey children back then when it wasn't as dangerous for kids to walk around, not get kidnapped and all that. But so we'd normally walk home and we'd come inside, but he went to play with some kids. And so this was the first time I walked into the house by myself. No one was around, and it freaked out my little child self, because it was like, I'm alone. But when we went through this process, I actually came in from this direction, from the living room into the kitchen where the garage door entrance was, as my adult self and my child self. And it was like picture in picture. I saw both of myselves both at once seeing each other, and the little child self thought this adult self was awesome, and my adult self looked at that little child and was like, wow, you're awesome. And I went over and literally picked my little child self up. And it's that parenting that this book that I was talking about, The Presence Process, really talks about, where we embrace our little child and we see how awesome each of us are. And it helps transform this attention that we were seeking earlier in our lives. And we can see how just unconditionally loved we really are, right? Now you also have the Hermit card here. I'm sorry, not the Hermit card. This reminds me of the Hermit card, but it's the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands, you can see all the wands that are there. There's a block that's here. And they're saying, and they're showing you basically through this, that we're the ones that hold the magic wand. We can just take out one of those and the block falls apart. And the one we take out is our Ace of Wands, which is getting our power back, which, this person has the Ace of Wands in their hands. So it's really recognizing this is what changes it. You also have the Judgment card. And the Judgment card is double endings and double new beginnings, because you have 10 and 10 up here. But this is about getting to know yourself and knowing that you are so much more than the character that you play here. But the actor behind the character is this powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being that is made of unconditional love. And that is your higher self. That's your adult self too, right? In this situation here, you're having this call from your higher self to really realize your power and who you really are. That's what helps transform us from these feelings of abandonment and allows our higher self to embrace our human character. Because you also have the Tower here, which this is a time of endings and new beginnings. Again, reaffirmed here that it is time. You are ready to let these things go, to make space for new. And the Tower, of course, represents that whatever is happening in your life happened for you, not to you. But you also, it's this, whatever is being removed out of your life now is being removed on purpose. What is being brought into your life is being brought in for you on purpose. So you definitely have this freedom that's coming in here. And let's take a look at your other cards here too. Yeah, so you have the Eight of Wands, which means this energy that you've been investing and bouncing around inside of you. The Eight of Wands is the return of this energy back to yourself, because you're no longer going to have this emotional energy invested in maintaining these old pains, these old ways of looking at things. When you transform this energy, all that energy that was used for this block to kind of protect you, you don't need to do it anymore. It's like you had these defenses that were built when you were young to help protect it, but they're outdated now. They're no longer needed, because you don't need that old approval that little child was thinking it needed, because it's going to find it from a new place. And there's no time or space when it comes to our inner child and our emotions. So it's been feeling like it's been happening over and over and over and over again. And in this moment, when you embrace yourself, like we were talking about here, it changes everything for you. All that energy does come back to you, and it comes back to you very quickly. Yeah, you have the high priestess. This is all about, she goes into her temple. She does spend time alone connecting to the higher self, goes behind the veil, goes into the unknown and the unconscious and stuff. So you do have the power to do this. And so they're basically letting you know, don't be afraid to be able to do this, because in that realm, you are the ruler. You can go in and use your beautiful high priestess power, whether you're male or female or how you identify, and you get to go, to this beautiful place within and transform things. So this definitely is this trust in your gut, trust in your intuition, and be able to go back with power to transform these things. And here's the Ace of Wands we were talking about too. So you're definitely getting your power back. They're reiterating, you have the power to do this. You are the one that holds the key to removing the block. No one else can do it for you. You hold this in your hands. You hold the wand. And then you have the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles does change. It's because fives are, represent change. Of like the way you perceive things and the way you look at something. And so the Pentacles in this case is about how you perceive your worth, how you perceive where your sustenance comes from. And, the Five of Pentacles, sometimes you would see like the regular standard pentacles is they have two people outside of looks like they're out walking past a church. They're barefoot. One person has a crutch. A person has a head wound. They feel very abandoned and left alone, like they were left to take care of themselves when no one, when other people would have normally been there. Or, that's our perception, what we're taught. Parents should take care of children. People in authority or older brothers or older sisters, siblings, whatever it might be, are supposed to take care of us. Well, this transformation comes where you move from this place of feeling abandoned and that you are fearing about having your next day's sustenance or even today's sustenance. And you stop looking at mankind to bring it to you, realizing that the creator of all things is the source of what brings us our humans' needs each day, and that it may not bring all future needs, for this day, but you'll have what you need for today. Creator has endless resources, has unconditional love for us. So whereas we fear, making someone angry and not bringing us what we need, we realize it's the Creator that brings it to us. And sometimes it brings us it through humans, but they're just the delivery company. They're just the ones that are bringing it. And so you do have this change of your worth and your sustenance and this not feeling of abandonment like we talked about, that you're gaining this, wow, I am unconditionally loved and I deserve to receive. And that's kind of where this surrender to receiving comes in too. Because you're realizing that you don't have to do anything to earn unconditional love because there's no conditions for it. Plus, there's nothing you can do to lose it because there's no conditions for it. So it's a beautiful realization of this true love that you have from up above and from your higher self and from even your adult self that you're here. And then your final card here is the Nine of Swords. Yes. Nine of Swords. Swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. And the Nine of Swords is kind of known as the nightmare or the insomnia card. And this means you're so close to letting go of all these expectations, all these thoughts, all these beliefs. You have two nines here, and I kind of mentioned that reminds me of the Hermit card. The Hermit card in the Major Arcana is about turning inward and finding the transformation that happens in your energy and in your thoughts and beliefs. You're realizing so much about how much power that you were giving to others by what they were saying and trying to define you. And you're turning inward, especially the high priestess too, turning inward for this journey and questioning this stuff. Your shadow is bringing it up for you, going, look, this is where all that stuff comes from, and you can be free from it. We're ready. Your shadow self is bringing it up because you are ready for this transformation, or it wouldn't be talking about it. It would still be bouncing around there like a minimized program on your computer that you opened up playing some spooky music and you minimized it when earlier in life, and you don't realize it's been playing this whole time, impacting your life. You're ready to bring that into your consciousness again and transform it into this beautiful, beautiful power and energy, realizing that you are the one that gets to give yourself that unconditional love, that unconditional acceptance, and that unconditional attention. So I do love this for you, for all of you that chose reading number 1. This is a huge, pivotal time of your life, and I'm excited for where you are going to head as you go through this. Now, if you are looking for more messages of love from above, in addition to these readings, I also put out weekly energy updates for each individual zodiac sign, monthly readings for each individual zodiac sign, and a few other types of videos throughout the month. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and get a notification as soon as those videos are available, if you give this video a little thumbs up by clicking the like button. Also, by clicking the subscribe button, you'll get access to the notification bell. And when you go in there, there's an option to select all. And if you do that, then you'll be notified of any new videos that do come out on my channel. Also, doing those things that help spread the Zen love, and it does help my channel grow in significant ways. Because when you like one of my videos or share one of my videos, comment on one of my videos, especially subscribing to my channel, doing those things makes the YouTube algorithm so happy. It does want to automatically share my videos with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of those things, I am so very grateful for that. Also, these are general readings, and if you're looking for even more specific information and answers for your specific life, I do offer personal readings, and my recorded personal readings actually have a sliding price scale where you can choose among some different prices and one that is more in alignment with your budget at the time. So there's some flexibility around that too. All that information is listed in the description box below. All right, you mighty, powerful transformers here. As you go through this experience, please know that each and every second of every day of your life, you truly are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing journey. I'm sure we'll be talking soon. In the meantime, though, you hang in there and you take care. And if you chose reading number 2, which is the beautiful Amethyst Pyramid, then this is the reading for you. And we are going to start off by pulling a card here from the Black Tarot. And by the way, any of the cards I use in a reading, I do list in the description box below. So if any of them catch your fancy and you want to procure them for yourselves, you know where you can find those. But this is going to represent, of course, the first message from your shadow. Now, your shadow is your tour guide in this giant amusement park of fear rides that we're in. And being the tour guide, they know what's going on behind the scenes and underneath the surface, and they can give you information on what is in your unconscious that you're not even aware of that's impacting you, and help bring that to the surface, and so you can transform it. So this is going to be just the area of your life first that they want to identify, and then we'll get more clarity through the other decks as well. So one more time here. All right, so for those that chose reading number 2, our shadows, what would you like all of us to know? Okay, that's the one right here. What area of your life? And you've got Judgment here. So the Judgment card is about being aware of that you're so much more than your human side, that you are this actor behind this human character, a powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being that's made of unconditional love. And I kind of feel like where they're going with this is that where you feel abandoned in your life was that you weren't given any kind of spiritual guidance, any kind of wisdom in life. It's almost like you were left to figure things out on your own. On one hand, I kind of feel like some of you are, the parents came from a very strict, organized type of belief system or religion. And they, of course, pendulum to the other side and said, be free. Think of how you want to do. And you were like, well, I'd like some guidance. I kind of felt like I was the adult in the relationship. It's almost like they felt so restricted when they were children that they were these, child parents, which everyone really is. We're all a race of children raising children, raising children, raising children, right? But you kind of felt like you had to be the adult very early on. We'll get more details here. They want me to move on to these Queen of the Moon Oracle and get some more details about this abandonment of, like, you had to be the responsible one because it's like your parents weren't. I'm getting visions of like they would smoke weed and do all this kind of stuff where they were just like, live free, and then you were like, yeah, but I need to go to school. I'm late again. It's like almost like you had to pack your own lunch and, you made sure you studied and they were a distraction. You had to really focus. I kind of feel like there's this kind of feeling in it too, in addition to that spiritual guidance. So let's see what else. What else would they like us to know? Okay, it's this one right here. And you've got, oh my gosh, wisdom. What was I just saying, right? It's the wisdom. And 22. So you've got the judgment card, which is XX versus 20. Add 2 plus 0 together to get 2. And then you have 22. And 22, because this is all about getting to know the two of you, your human side and your higher spiritual side. Well, master number 22, for me, with spirit, what they've shown me is like master number 11 is getting to know your ego and your human character side of life. 22 is getting realizing that you're so much more than the human, that you have this spiritual side, which is so much what we were just talking about. And then eventually you get the 11 plus the 22 to get 33, which is the joining together of your human side and your spiritual side, and you walk hand in hand through life. So let's see what this wisdom card brings in here, because that is so synchronistic. I just love it. I just love it. So this is wisdom is more than mere knowledge. There may be something you're not seeing and need to research more thoroughly. Wisdom is gathered, but it takes time. Learn from your experience. You might wish to ask the opinion of a wise mentor if you are uncertain. The little affirmation for this card is, I use my knowledge and experience to make wise decisions. It's often said that the body has its own innate wisdom. If healthy, it just knows what to do and does what it needs to keep us alive and moving without thinking too much about it. Most of the time, we aren't aware of trying to keep our heart beating or of breathing when we sleep, right? Thank God. Similarly, we have this innate reasoning system, intuition, that allows us to get answers or receive information without conscious thinking. It's that feeling or hunch of information or insight that is just there. Some people believe this is the wisdom we receive from the gods, right? The gods. The very spark of the divine voice that is left within us. You can't make this up. This is a very old kind of wisdom that sits in a very old part of the brain. Then there's the gathering of knowledge and experience and what we discern and learn from this. If the result has acuity, it is successful in the real world and good in sense and perception. It's most probably wise. The getting of wisdom takes time usually, and we can be impatient for it. We might cut corners and not see the role we take in our own poor decision making. To me, though, as a modern people, we have millennia of wisdom to assist us. Human history has some very wise people starring in it, and some not so wise. So we have plenty of examples from which to learn. Gathering wiser people around us is, in fact, one of the wisest things anyone can do. We cannot always know it all, and a wise mentor or friend can not only save us from a poor decision, but also demonstrate how to be wise if we're not quite there yet. And the companion stone for this is fluorite, actually. And this is great because they're basically saying your shadow is wanting you to know that it happened on purpose, for a purpose, that you were in this arena of like zero guidance in wisdom and what you were going through growing up. And you're just like, I'm left here out on my own. But you wanted that because if you had all this other wisdom, all this other stuff that was all this over guidance given to you like your parents were, it takes a lifetime to uncondition that. And you wanted a clean slate. And you were like, I know it's going to be horrible and I'm going to feel abandoned. I'm going to feel like aimless and I'm going to feel very, very uncomfortable during the early years of my life. But it's going to be for my benefit. I'm going to have a clean slate that I get to add to. I get to choose the wisdom and the people I want to surround myself with and glean from that, right? And like it said too, you wanted to see unwise decisions around you so you could learn from that example too. So this is beautiful understanding of what's been going on in your subconscious and kind of that resentment and that maybe some bitterness around those early experiences. You're realizing and transforming it through the awareness of why you chose it. We're also going to pull from these Power of Surrender cards here. Let's see what they would like to add in to this information here. So let's just give these a couple shuffles here. One more. All right. So what else? For those that chose reading number 2, okay, they do want this one here. And you have Surrender to Play. I love this. I love it. It says, take a break from overthinking a goal. Do something fun. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. So we're talking about that your parents got to be the players and be the children, and you felt you never had a childhood. You felt you had to grow up very quickly. They're saying it's time for you to let that inner child out, allow them to play and not be so serious. Enjoy it, have fun. Plan play dates for yourself. What is joyful? If you have been so serious all your life and you haven't really felt you've had time to play, now's the time to experiment and find out what it is that you enjoy doing, the playful things that make you laugh, that make you giggle, that make you excited, and let that little inner child out to play. So I do love that. I'm also going to use this runic tarot and see what else they want you to know about this. So you obviously have great amounts of wisdom that you feel you learned the hard way. And those are the lessons. We often remember our entire lifetimes, right? It's not the easy stuff that's we remember. It's the hard lessons, the hard, trial and error that you've gleaned. So wise, though. You have so much wisdom that you can share with the world. But let's take a look here. What else does your shadow want you to know about these experiences? Okay, they do want that one. What else? Okay. And this one. So they do want these down here. Let me just make space for that. And then these 3 up here. So we'll just scooch these over and we'll start with this one down here. And you got the Hanged Man. Yeah, again, another card representing you seeing things from a higher perspective. It very much is wisdom, too. But this whole experience allowed you to see things that you didn't see. This card, the story behind the Hanged Man is that the king or father of the gods, Odin, hung himself from the tree of knowledge and wisdom, right? By one leg, and he actually sacrificed one of his eyes, one of his human eyeballs, in order to have the ability to have the wisdom of the upper realms. And so that is so perfect with what we talked about here. You knew you sacrificed. You knew, I'm going to choose this family, this situation, be born at this time, blah, 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 blah. All the stuff that represented your earlier life, you chose on purpose for a purpose, and because you really wanted to glean this wisdom, and you didn't feel that it was too much of a sacrifice because of the wisdom that you were going to glean in this connection that you have to the higher realms. So you definitely... you didn't get guidance from the outside world. You had to learn, to trust your intuition, to trust your gut, to really see beyond things. So I kind of feel like with this coming in here too, that there's this very strong spiritual connection, like to your psychic abilities, to your spiritual gifts, whatever you want to call them. All these twos. The two in the major arcana is the high priestess, who she would go into her own little temple, go behind the veil, below the surface, connect to the higher realms. And I feel like through all this, you developed your own heightened perception of things, your heightened intuition. So I do love that this is telling you that you didn't think it was too much of a sacrifice for that. Yeah, and here you go. I'm not surprised the Queen of Cups came up here, because this is like the sister of the High Priestess, or the cousin, because not only does she rule over emotion, all of the queens in the minor arcana get a second helping of cups, emotions. So she's double emotions, double cups. She's able to dive deep into the emotional world and connect to that. So this definitely reaffirms what I was just talking about: intuition, connection to the higher realms. So she also has access to the Ace of Cups that she has in her hand, which is full of the unconditional love of the higher realms. It's like you are able to become a chalice, to become a receiver of the wisdom and the knowledge, and you're holding that within you. Again, and she's kind of holding it out, which we were talking about. You have so much wisdom to be able to share with individuals. And then you have, the Seven of Swords. So swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. It's all the mental stuff, right? And it's usually called the Deceiver card or the Thievery card. And I feel like what they're wanting to bring this up is that you went through those experiences, sifting out what is truth and what is opinion. And as you connected to this higher place, seeing things from a higher perspective, you really grasp onto the capital T truths that are related to the unconditional love of the higher realms, letting go of the small t truths of the human realm that you saw all this fear and all these beliefs about striving for all this other stuff. You really saw through it with this intuition, and you were able to sort through those thoughts and those beliefs. That's why your wisdom is so pure and true. Yeah, and then you have the Ten of Wands. So you did all the work. The Ten of Wands shows a great amount of energy and power. You're holding the staff here. It's like Gandalf the Great in the Lord of the Rings series. You hold very much power because of everything that you chose to go through, and because of everything that you went through in your earlier childhood, having to do all this on your own. You hold great power now, which I love. So you are realizing, okay, I went through all this on purpose for a purpose, and I'm glad I did. I wouldn't change a thing. But now this like understanding is, it's like there's this energy that you're investing in your inner child, the shadow, your earlier years with that abandonment feeling. You have energy that's invested in maintaining those. And I feel like with you knowing that you chose it on purpose for a purpose, that you felt the sacrifice was what you wanted, that it is allowing you to release the responsibility of and the the pain that you felt and the abandonment that you felt, all those emotions that you felt from them earlier, you're releasing them, you're forgiving them, you're taking you're letting the wrath go, because you realize, oh, you know what? You guys were just doing what I asked you to do. Before you came down here, your higher self met with their higher selves and said, hey, I need a family who is just going to let me feel like I'm aimless and not give me any of that support. Do I have any volunteers? And people are like, oh, no, we love you so much. Why would we want to do that? And they're like, I really, really want this for myself so I can get this. And they're like, okay, focusing on the result of how powerful you are going to be, will do that for you. And so that's the agreement. That's the way they want you to kind of look at it and forgive, because they're showing you the little order form with your signature and the initials, signing off that this is how you wanted them to be. So I love that. Then you have, so the 3 of Swords here. See, this is them. You ask them to pound these swords into your back, to feel betrayed and let down, these expectations, to feel the disappointment, because in feeling that disappointment continually on the outside world, it was going to turn you inward. Because when we're disappointed enough with all that's going on in the outside world, that's when we turn inward here, right? If we're satisfied with what we're getting out here, we'll just continue to be out there. But where your power was going to come was this inner journey and this pointing inward. And then you have the 4 of Pentacles. Yes, Pentacles is the outside world, but it also is how you relate yourself to the outside world. And the big lesson of the 4 of Pentacles is kind of like what I was just saying, which is great, because it's like we're taught and told to look out here for our worth, right? We're told to look to relationships to define us, to situations like jobs, education, social status to define us, our bodies, possessions, bank accounts to define us. But all those things are unstable because people change or pass away. So relationships are unstable for our foundation. Situations never stay the same. And of course, things and our bodies and bank accounts, all that stuff breaks down, deteriorates, stolen, burns down. So all that out there is unstable. That's why I call that retail price. The value we put on ourselves, of how we think others think of us, that's retail. What is my worth to them out there? And like a big parka coat, when you're in northern Antarctica during the winter, your priceless, everyone wants you. But when you're that same coat on a tropical island during the summer, then you are on the 99% clearance rack. That's what outside does for us. But this turns you inward, letting you know, and finding your worth from above instead becomes this eternal, stable, unconditional value of yourself. And that's the capital S self that you find when you get disappointed enough, right? When this instability happens enough, then you turn inward to something that's solid. 4s are like a solid foundation. Think of a huge table with 4 big legs. It's like very, very solid. And so this is your stability, and your worth is coming in through all of this too. Then your last card is the Wheel of Fortune, another 10. So the 10 is endings and new beginnings, but this is basically what I was talking about. The story of the Wheel of Fortune that Spirit gave me is, before you come down here, you as your higher self chose you as the avatar for which to experience this life through. Chose when you're going to be born, when you're going to leave, and all your fated events that wanted you to experience as you went through it, right? But it gives you this power and ability to realize that whenever you're going through any fated event in your life, you still hold the power of choice in every single moment. We have a choice of what story we want to put around it. We have a choice of what emotion we want to feel as we go through it. And even though we made choices of stories and emotions, we can reapply a new habit of what we want to feel and what we want to think it means, which is what you're going through here. You're changing your viewpoint. You're altering a new viewpoint. You're still holding on to the old ones because you wanted to experience that, but you're looking at things in a different perspective now, and that's the fate's wheel that's changing here. It is changing the way that you are looking at different things. In fact, I have a 1010 Fate's Wheel portal readings that are going to be coming up the week of 1010. So definitely check those out, because I feel like you're going to get different information, additional information that will come in to help you with this journey too. So definitely this big empowerment coming in with your power of choice, knowing that every moment is a choice between either unconditional love of the higher realms or the fear of losing conditional love of the human worlds that we were taught. And with all of this coming, this huge message of, yes, you have so much wisdom, so much stuff you gleaned, but now it's time to learn to play as well. You have great wisdom to share. You have great power, great strength. Now it's time to laugh. It's time to have some fun, because it's almost like they're showing me someone who finally, they went through all their earlier education, then they went to college, got their degree, then went and got their master's, and then their doctorate, and now you're graduating and you're like, I have so much, but now it's time. I want to have fun. I'm just so used to studying and doing the work that it's time to learn to play too. You get weekends off just for doing nothing, and you get to go enjoy yourself, take little trips, you get to go to a movie, you get to go have ice cream, what all those stuff that you want. Your inner child is like, I want to play. It's time to allow that as well. So powerful, powerful transformation here. I love this for you. I love the wisdom you're going to share with the world, but I love how you're also going to learn to play and enjoy the human life as you're sharing the wisdom too. Now, if you are looking for more messages of love from above, in addition to these readings, I also put out weekly energy updates for each individual zodiac sign, monthly readings for each individual zodiac sign, and a few other types of videos throughout the month, like the portal readings I was talking about. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and get a notification as soon as they're available, if you give this video a little thumbs up by clicking the like button. Also, by clicking the subscribe button, you have access to the notification bell. And when you go in there, if you select the all option that's listed, then you'll get notified immediately of any new videos that come out from my channel. And also doing those things, it helps spread the Zen love, and it also helps my channel grow in significant ways, because when you like one of my videos, share one of my videos, comment on one of my videos, especially subscribing to my channel, doing those things makes the YouTube algorithm so happy. It does want to automatically share my videos with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of that, please know I am ever, ever so grateful for that. Also, these are general readings, and if you're looking for even more specific information and answers for your specific life, I do offer personal readings, and actually my recorded personal readings have a sliding price scale, so you can choose among a few different price points on one that matches up to your budget, so there's some flexibility that comes in with those, and all that information for all that is listed in the description box below. Right, all of you that chose a reading number 2, as you go through this amazing adventure, please know that every second of every day of your life that you are truly unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing adventure. We'll be talking soon, I'm sure. And in the meantime, you hang in there and you take care. And if you chose reading number 3, which is this beautiful red Jasper Tower, then this is the reading for you. Just going to put that down here. We're going to start off by pulling a card here from this black tarot. Now, any of the cards I use in a reading, I do list in the description box below, so if any of them catch your fancy, you can pick those up. But we'll start off with these to find out first what area of our lives that our shadow wants us to know around abandonment. And our shadow is our tour guide. It's the one that's taking us around in this giant amusement park of fear rides, and like a a tour guide at Disney World or Universal Studios. They know what's going on behind the scenes, beneath the surface, so they can help bring awareness around what's bubbling down there to into our consciousness. And so that's what they're wanting to do. So let's one more time and see, for all of those that chose reading number 3, Shadow, what would you like us to know, please? For all that chose reading number 3. Okay, none of those. What would you like us to know around abandonment? Okay, they do want this one right here. And you have the 9 of Swords. Wow, yeah. See, swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations, just your whole mental world. And the 9 of Swords actually represents insomnia. It represents nightmares. And so I love this because they are bringing those feelings, those extreme feelings of maybe you have nightmares, maybe you have insomnia that is happening quite a bit. They want to bring some information on where this nightmarish feeling of fear comes from in your life and around the abandonment. So kind of feel like you shared your fears, you shared your nightmares, you shared all this when you were younger, and you just felt like no help was given to you. You were just left in this mental place of, not them taking to have you like medically or counseling or anything, that like there's something that caused and triggered some stuff, and you just kind of felt abandoned in it. Like people didn't believe you, they thought you were making it up, or they just said get over it and kind of just try to smooth it over. I felt like this is the kind of energy that's coming in right now. And of course you'll have different situations since this is a general reading, but you get the energy that I'm talking about. We're also going to pull from the Queen of the Moon Oracle, see what else they would like you to know around this. And I'm so sorry that you were left as a child to fend on your own. I mean, it made you strong, right? I mean, you had to become a tough little kid to get through it, but you survived 100% of everything that you went through, or you wouldn't be watching this video right now. So just a huge admiration for your strength that you went through with all this. So what else, Shadow? What else would you like? Those that chose reading number 3. Okay, they do want that one right here. Yeah, they have beauty. So this is great here. That's card number 20. We'll put that right here. And let's see what they have to offer here. And it says, beauty is like medicine. It can heal even the most broken spirit. Beauty is everywhere in nature. Just look. And beauty comes in many forms, and we can choose to find it. I love how I look. Rid yourself of the clutter and what you find disagreeable. The affirmation for this one is, I see beauty everywhere, and it raises my vibration. One of the high needs in my life is that of beauty. That's the author, of course, speaking. I need to be exposed to what I find beautiful often to be at my best. You might find that a strange need, you might find that a strange need, but it's far from uncommon, especially among creatives and artists. Beauty to me isn't lots of makeup or fancy skincare or society's current beauty ideal. For me, beauty is nature and having things I find beautiful in my environment. I look around me as I write, and I can see the inky dark clouds racing across a violet sky and the birds riding the wind, and it's beautiful. On my desk is a small piece of glass a friend made for me, and a small bowl full of summer frangipani. I probably murdered that. It's Frangipani. It's probably a type of flower, maybe. But it says, my feet rest on a hand-woven carpet of desert colors, and my toenails are painted a shimmering turquoise, my favorite color. All of these are expressions of beauty to me. They raise my mood. They give joy to my eyes, my heart, and my mind. And everyone can experience beauty every day if they choose to look. One of the important differences between the ancient pagan and the modern idea of beauty is that the old ways state there is a need for the core of the self to be developed and strengthened to enable and foster true beauty. This is an important two-way double punch, as there is a strong mind-body connection when it comes to both beauty and vitality. Yes, while it's acceptable to use therapies that treat or beautify externally, it's equally important to stop bad habits detrimental to health that will interrupt the good that you're doing. For example, you could be using the most effective treatments on the market to nourish your skin, but if you can't give up smoking, there's a finite level of health that your skincare can achieve. The unbalanced first world ideal of beauty is at its zenith right now, with more people than ever being before undergoing and normalizing plastic surgery and injectable chemicals. Everyone has an individual right to decide how they wish their body to look and adopt an idea of physical beauty. However, it's the source of the influence that is worrying. Who told a woman who has altered her appearance that there was something wrong with her face, her eyes, her smile, her expression in the first place? Who had the audacity to say you are not enough because she had some smile lines? Think about that. Who is making women, in particular, so fearful? Who or what wants you to question yourself and the very essence of how you interact with the world, and why? Who wants you to be the same as everyone else and less of who you are? Society? Some marketing guy for big cosmetics? A retouched spokesmodel? Real beauty is hypnotic, yet in reality has less to do with youth than it does with the spirit coming through the skin. The word charisma comes from the Greek word charis, K-A-R-I-S, and ma, M-A, meaning the spirit shining through. Each of us possesses a unique beauty, one that gives us confidence if we recognize it. Each of us is desirable, each of us perfectly formed to be what we want to be. But should we become too obsessed by the external, something that is, after all, fleeting, we may become unhappy and chase an ideal that is impossible to uphold. And the companion stone for that is Larimar. So I really, this combination here, I'm feeling two different kind of ways that this goes for all of you, of course, general reading, so it does differ. For one side, it is that you were not enough and you were told all of this, that, what are people going to think if you have this attitude and this approach? Just let it go. People are, not going to accept you if you don't just let all that go. You don't want to be, labeled as this or that or this or that. So just, that was the smoothing over of the stuff that happened, right? And the other side of it, for those of you who, because of your external beauty, you attracted unwanted and unacceptable behavior from others, the beauty has become something that was a source of pain for you. And so there's this transformation that's coming in here as you're able to surround yourself with what you feel is beauty, and you're transforming, seeing yourself as beautiful. And this is if you're male or female or however you identify, seeing yourself as a beautiful creation rather than a mistake. seeing yourself as this beautiful work of art instead of something that's full of broken pieces. And so you have this beautiful transformation coming. They do want me to look at this Power of Surrender deck next, and let's see what else they want you to know. They're showing me this beautiful tree that was in one of the yards when I was growing up that had gotten struck by lightning. And it was beautiful because, it was at one point it was just a solid one tree, but it got struck by lightning and caused it to break off into two branches. And in the middle was this hollow place where squirrels every year used for their nest, which allowed us to see little baby squirrels that, would always come out there. But it created this beautiful big tree, which was so unique and so different. And it was beautiful in its own right. And I kind of feel like they're saying that, even if you were struck by lightning and, had these things happen to you, that you are a beautiful work of art and you're unique and different because of everything that you went through. You don't have to compare yourself to everyone else because we didn't want, a million duplicates. We want billions of individual unique things like snowflakes, right? And so, you wanted me to let you know that. So let's look here. So Power of Surrender, Shadow. What else would you like all those? Okay, that shows reading number 3 to know, please. And you have Surrender the Drama. Yeah, I love that. No matter how emotionally charged the situation, remain calm and don't contribute to the drama. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. And this is great. You've gone through those experiences. You've had those things happen to you that, we know we're in a drama when there's a victim, a villain, and a hero. But you don't have to stay there anymore. You don't have to invest that energy and have it impact your life anymore. You are, I feel through this process, taking back such great energy for yourself. You're moving from, someone who was a victim of something to someone who's this thriver and just powerful because of what you went through. And even heroes are part of a drama. And it's like, no, you're no longer feeling like you have to be a hero, because in order to have a hero, you have to have a victim and a villain. And you're just tired of the drama. You're ready to let drama go to where you are just getting this power and remembering who you really are. We're going to use the Runic Tarot here and just see what else they want you to know about all this. I love it. All right, they're showing me a scene of someone tied to a railroad track. The villain, how they used to have the mustache and they would, be twisting it with the black hat and dressed all in black. And then here comes the hero, all dressed in white. And they're like, da-da-da. And all of a sudden you hear, all right, cut. They got enough. We're good. Moving on. And that's what I kind of feel like your shadow's letting you know that, yep, we've learned enough from the drama of that situation. And you're ready to move on to the next adventure in your life. Not the next drama, the next adventure. So what else for those that chose reading number 3, please? Okay. Okay, they do want the one from the bottom. Okay. So let me just line these up here. And we will start with this one right here. And you have the Magician. And so powerful, so powerful. This is about is very strong divine masculine energy, which is what we all have. We all have divine masculine and divine feminine energy, regardless if we're male or female or how we identify. And this is you taking your power, connecting to your higher power, bringing it through you, being a conduit and letting that flow out to the world. So this is you taking back your power, realizing how powerful you are. It's the number one card, and so you are just becoming this conduit of great energy that you're showing that whatever you focus on with your magic wand is what grows in your life. So if you focus in on the drama continues to grow in your life. But if you want to transform that, if you focus instead on gratitude for what you do have in your life, what did happen in your life, and what you want to have in your life, that grows instead of focusing on what you don't want in your life and focusing on the drama from before. So you're surrendering that, going, it was good for the time that I wanted. I've experienced it all, but now I'm ready for something else. And so you're changing your energy and where you're directing it. Yeah, the Queen of Swords. So this is beautiful energy. Swords is your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. She also is given a portion of water. So she's half air with the swords and half water, which she brings in this wonderful balance between heart and mind. So it is allowing yourself to feel the feels and move through them, but at the same time, also connecting to higher knowledge. The Ace of Swords that she has here allows her to connect to the capital T truths of the higher realm, while at the same time cutting away the old thoughts and beliefs that no longer serve her. All those opinions, those fear of losing conditional love, those opinions of the outside world, and the stories that were applied to old things. So it allows you to create new stories, new ways of looking at what happens in your life, what happened in your life, and what will happen in your life. And then you have the Emperor. Yeah, so very much taking your power back. 4 is a very solid foundation, but the Emperor, this energy of the Emperor is that you're no longer allowing other people to rule over your kingdom. It's your kingdom. Your inner world and how you perceive the world is all within you. And we have, like we were talking about with that Ace of Swords, it cuts away all these popular opinions of how you're supposed to feel as you go through something, or what story, or how you're supposed to think about something that happens, right? Or happened. And this is the Emperor saying, I'm the ruler of my kingdom. I decide, and no one else. So anyone that has taken on the role of emperor or ruler over your life was an imposter. And now you are taking back your throne and you're guiding your life. You're no longer allowing it to be at the whims of other people. Yeah. And here's the Devil card. And don't be scared by this card at all, because this is transformation. This is your shadow bringing things up to your face on purpose for this transformation. So they're all like, it is time for this. Memories have been echoing up. This is like a Capricorn energy, which is ruled by Saturn. Saturn's the worker. It is, here's the task set before you. There's work to do. But if you do the work, you do this transformation, there's also great reward that comes with that. So I love that this is coming up for you, because it is like, yes, it is time for this. You've been holding on to it, rehashing it, nursing it for long enough. It did what it would needed to do, but you are so powerful and you're ready to take command back of your own life and not be at the whims of other people's actions from the past. Yeah. You have the 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups is about leaving behind old emotions that no longer serve you. So, da-da! Exactly what we were talking about. And oh my God. Here's that tree with the squirrels. Isn't that crazy? So the image they gave me is like, yes, look at all the beautiful creations that are going to come from the lightning strike of that tree. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love the synchronicities. Beautiful. And then you have the Ace of Swords. So right above the Queen of Swords, it says you hold the power to connect to higher truths that are rooted in the unconditional love of the higher realm. And you are so ready to wield that and grab that sword and start slicing away those old thoughts and those old beliefs that no longer serve you, those old stories that you applied to whatever happened in your youth, in your past, that you used to define your worth. They're like, nope. That was good for the time. You did come down here to experience the drama, to feel what it might feel like to be small and vulnerable, and the heartache and the pain and the bitterness and the suffering. But you're ready. You're sick and tired of feeling that way. And this Ace of Swords is what cuts away all these small t truths that created so much pain and nightmare and all of that for you. And your final card is the Seven of Cups. Look at new birth, new ways of feeling and emotions. The Seven of Cups can sometimes represent like emotional confusion. But for you, this is like all these 7 cups is that you're realizing your power to choose what emotions you want to feel through any situation. I kind of feel like going back to this beauty is you looking around yourself and seeing beauty everywhere. And so this is definitely, it's part of the reward of going through the work of transforming and cutting away these old thoughts and these old beliefs of how you used to look at things. Very powerful transformation. And again, I know it was painful going through what you did when you were younger, but you're so ready to take your power back. You're so ready to change the story, the narrative that you put around your past, and any of those beliefs, any of those things, and that abandonment where you were just left on your own, where people didn't believe it, or they told you to shh, don't talk about it. That's just going to be a family secret, or, whatever it might have been. Just know that this is a time where you are definitely taking your power back, and you're transforming your life to one that's filled with beauty all around you. You're going to see yourself as beautiful. Everything around you is beautiful. And you're letting the old stories and the old things rest now. You're ready to put them to rest. You're ready to surrender the drama. So love this so much for you. If you are looking for even more messages of love from above, in addition to these types of videos, I also put out weekly energy updates for each individual zodiac sign, also monthly readings for each individual zodiac sign, and several other types of videos throughout the month. So if you don't want to miss out on those and be notified immediately when they're available, if you give this video a little thumbs up by clicking the like button. Also, clicking the subscribe button will give you access to the notification bell. When you go in there, there's a setting for all. If you click on that, then you'll be notified of any new videos that do come out on my channel. Also, doing those things, it helps spread the Zen love, and it does help my channel grow in significant ways. Because when you like one of my videos, share one of my videos, comment on one of my videos, and especially subscribing to my channel, doing those things makes the YouTube algorithm so happy. It wants to automatically share the videos of my channel with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of that, please know I am so very grateful. Also, these are general readings, and if you're looking for even more specific information and answers for your specific life, I do offer personal readings, and my recorded personal readings are actually on a sliding price scale, so you can choose among a few different price points and from one that's in more alignment with your budget, so offers some flexibility there. All that information is listed in the description box of this video. All right, all you beautiful individuals that chose this tower, this red Jasper Tower, please know that every second of every day of your life that you truly are unconditionally loved by the Mother and the Father of all things, our Creator. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing adventure. I'm sure we'll be talking very soon. In the meantime, though, you hang in there and you take care.